Hello, all. Welcome to Ekam Academy. Today, we are going to discuss about a new political drama that happened in the state of Himachal Pradesh, which also have led to a question whether the current government actually has majority in the state or not. So, we'll understand what are the events that have led to this question, and we'll understand the most important concept of cross voting that takes place in Rajya Sabha elections. We'll also understand how the Rajya Sabha elections are conducted in India, what are the principles involved in it, and whether it have any relation to anti-defection or not. All these are the things which we're going to discuss as part of this. So let's start here. So India is a democratic country, and democracy is where we consider democracy means rule by the people, of the people, and for the people. So these are the main things which are even highlighted by Abraham. So, the fundamental principle of any democracy is free and fair elections. If free and fair elections has to be conducted, then, the basic way how they exercise this free and fair elections is through ballot. Some people even have opined that ballot is more powerful than bullet. Yes, right? So in ballot also we have two types of ballot, open ballot and secret ballot. We'll understand at the end of the video, you'll understand when we are using open ballot in Indian elections and when we are using secret ballot. So we'll understand in this journey, in this around 30 minutes discussion, we'll understand many things related to Rajya Sabha elections, how it takes place, and what are the things involved in it, and many more. Okay, so now watch the video till the end. You'll understand the entire issue. Then here the main topic of discussion is the political drama that happened in the state of Himachal Pradesh. We'll understand what happened there. So before that, you need to know what are the points of discussion. So here we are discussing mainly about cross voting that took place in Rajya Sabha elections from the state of Himachal Pradesh. We'll understand why it is announced, what are the constitutional provisions, what are the legal provisions involved in it, and what is this relation of Rajya Sabha elections with 10 schedule that is anti-defection, and also will understand what are the Supreme Court judgments related to anti-defection and that in relation to this Rajya Sabha elections, and we'll understand what is the way forward along with practice question for prelims and mains. Then let us see into the syllabus marking. It forms part of GS paper 2 in Indian constitutional polity. Then we'll understand the context of the present discussion. So here we are discussing mainly about cross voting in relation to Rajya Sabha elections. First, let us understand what is the meaning of cross voting. Cross voting means you belonging to a political party. If you're voting contrary to the decision of your political party to another party, okay, that means a person X is there, he belongs to a political party A. Okay, so if this political party A and he needs to vote in all the instances where he is eligible to vote, like presidential election or be it Rajya Sabha elections, if there is any resolution which this party supports or opposes, so he need to vote in this in you can say in aligning with the decision of this political party A only. But in case if this person X is voting for party B, okay, or its candidate who is supported by party B, then it will become cross voting. Okay, so this cross voting is nothing but a party candidate voting to another party candidate. Okay, that is meant by cross voting. So then let us understand what actually happened in the state of Himachal Pradesh. In Himachal Pradesh, before that, you just need to understand almost Rajya Sabha elections. That Indian Parliament has. For that, we'll understand a brief thing about Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha. Indian Parliament consists of two houses, Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha, along with the president, who is the head of the Senate. Then you need to understand Lok Sabha is the house of people. That means direct elections will be conducted at the house of Lok Sabha or the people's house. And this system is called FPP. That means first past the post system, where the candidate who got majority of the votes, okay, will be considered as the winning candidate. Then in Rajya Sabha elections, if you remember, this is indirect election. That is why we call Rajya Sabha as Council of States. That means with the House of Elders also we call. That means the state will send their representatives to Rajya Sabha. That means it is not direct election by the people. So here the people will be electing MLAs or the member of state legislative assembly. They will elect the Rajya Sabha members. This is what we need to understand indirect election. So then what is the system involved here? It is proportional representation with single transferable vote. That is the concept involved. So what is a single transferable vote also? And I need to understand that this as we proceed further. But before that, you need to understand Rajya Sabha is a permanent house. It is not subjected to any dissolution. There is no dissolution of Rajya Sabha. That means always it will continue in existence. Then you need to know what are the qualifications to become Rajya Sabha member. So two qualifications are specified by the constitution itself. That is citizen of India and 30 years of age. So these are the two things only they have mentioned. Apart from this, they also have mentioned that apart from this, any other qualifications as prescribed by Parliament subsequently by law. That means in case in the future if Parliament passes any law and says these are the additional qualifications which one member contesting to Rajya Sabha need to possess, those has also to be fulfilled by the member. So that means these are the two, along with parliamentary qualifications. Then we'll understand what are the like how the elections take place. We have understood the system, we'll understand it further, but you need to also understand what is the term of this member. So it is almost 6 years. Okay, so 6 years is the term of the Rajya Sabha member. Again, do remember it is not specified by the constitution, but it is specified by the parliament by law. And another thing you need to remember, very important fact is, if any in case of any by-election, that means sometimes if Rajya Sabha member who is already in his particular capacity, if he resigns, or if because of ill health or death, if he is not able to continue his membership in the house, then in the by-elections that are contested or that are conducted for Rajya Sabha, the member who got elected in the by-elections, he'll only be there for the remaining period. That means even if there is 1 year period, only for 1 year he'll continue to be member of Rajya Sabha. Again, he has to contest election. That means again he has to contest or he has to stand in that election. Say if he is getting unopposed or getting elected, then again he can continue for 6 years. That means if he gets elected in by-election, he cannot continue in the entire period. Only for the remaining period only he will be there. This is the most important thing you need to understand, right? Then we'll also understand how these members will be elected. Okay. So before that, you need to understand the brief context, present context will understand. As I told you, Rajya Sabha is a permanent house. Yes. So as we have discussed, Rajya Sabha is indirectly elected. That means Rajya Sabha members are indirectly elected by the MLAs of the particular state. Okay. So here you need to understand how the allocation of seats to Rajya Sabha is made. So for example, if you see the case of USC, there is uniform representation to the upper house. That means every state is assigned 2 seats to the upper house. But in case of India, it is not the case. So here in India, we decide the number of seats in Rajya Sabha based on the population of that state. Okay? Population is the main parameter. That means largest populated state like UP, they'll have more number of seats. Okay, and the least populated state will have less number of seats. In this way, you have to. And do remember, there is no concept of reservation in Rajya Sabha. Okay. And when you refer to the composition of Rajya Sabha, Constitution has specified the maximum strength. Okay, it is 250. Then you need to remember the present strength is 245, out of which 233 members are elected by MLAs from the various states and union territories also. Do remember, union territories also have a position to elect the members to Rajya Sabha. So how many union territories are electing now means only 3. That is Delhi, Puducherry you have, and Jammu and Kashmir, newly constituted union territories. Only these 3 union territories are sending their members to Rajya Sabha. So then, apart from this 233, 12 members will be nominated. Okay, so these persons are indirectly elected. Here, these 12 persons are nominated by the president. Okay, so president from different fields. You know all those fields, right? Arts, literature, science, and social service. Okay, so if you do remember, in the state councils, there is another field that is cooperative service also, where governor can nominate members, right? So this is a basic thing you need to know. Then we'll understand what is the present context. As I told you, Rajya Sabha seat allocation is done based on the population, and this allocation is specified in the 4th schedule of Indian Constitution. Do you remember? 4th schedule deals with allocation of seats to Rajya Sabha. So then we'll understand how this allocation will be calculated. Okay. So for this, like for example, if you just remember, there is a case of state of X. Okay, there is a state in India named as X. The state has 140 MLAs in it. Okay, so then in this 140 MLAs also, party A is having 100 MLAs. That means it has majority clearly. Majority to form the government is 50% plus 1. Here 50% means out of 140, 70 plus 1, 71. If any party is commanding 71 seats, then you can directly form the government. Although it has 100 seats, it is forming the government in state of X. Then you have another party is enjoying only 40 seats. Okay, so let us understand this. So then For example, how this Rajya Sabha elections takes place. In this case, what happens is there is a one formula. That formula you need to understand to calculate how the member of Rajya Sabha will be elected, right, from the particular state. For this to understand how the Rajya Sabha member vote will be calculated means from what particular state, total number of votes. Okay, the formula is total number of votes. Votes means here how many MLAs are there. Okay, in this case it is 140, right? 140 divided by total number of seats, Rajya Sabha seats, total number of Rajya Sabha seats allocated. Okay, based on population, seats will be allocated as per fourth schedule. We have seen Rajya Sabha seats. So, for example, if this seat was if the state of X was allocated 3 seats, then this seats plus one entirely plus one you have. This is a formula. That means 140 divided by 3 plus 1 plus 1. That means here 140 divided by 4 is 35 plus 1, 36. That means 36 votes are required for any candidate to get elected from the state of X from to Rajya Sabha. That means any person contesting from the state of X to Rajya Sabha need to secure at least 36 votes. If he secure 36 votes, he can become member from the state of X to Rajya Sabha. This is how the election calculation will be there in case of Rajya Sabha. So then we'll understand what is the concept of proportional representation by single transferable vote. As the name it's self-suggesting, single transferable. Okay. So here all the 140 MLAs in the state of X will be given the ballot paper. Okay. So in the ballot paper, there will be the name of the candidate against which they have to mark. Okay, so they have to mark. Means Election Commission of India will give a particular ink against using that particular ink only. They have to mark their preference. So what is this concept of preference means? So for example, here I told you 3 seats are allocated for the state in Rajya Sabha. That means for 3 seats elections, if there are 5 candidates, okay, so 5 candidates are fighting for these 3 seats, for example, okay, and you have seen one party is having 100 and how much is the majority they require? Only 36 seats. That means easily 2 seats can be won by this particular party A, whereas B party has only 40 seats. If in case any persons abstain, then this B cannot get even 1 seat also. So let us understand how this works. So 5 candidates are contesting, and here they have an option called preference. So for example, if a candidate or one MLA has given first preference to second candidate, and this third candidate is given second preference. First candidate is given third preference. Here he is given fourth preference, and the preference is given to fourth candidate. In this way, how many preferences will be there list? How many candidates are contested based on that, and how many seats are there based on the this number of preferences will be determined. So what happens after the preferences is given? So why we are calling single transferable vote means here the election commission is responsible for conducting of elections for Rajya Sabha. After elections, what happens is they'll segregate the ballot papers based on the preferences. That means they'll see this candidate one, okay, first candidate one. So how many first preference he got? All those ballot papers will be added to the first person's votes. Okay, so then like this, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so they have 5 boxes for 5 candidates. So whenever this first candidate he got how many first preference votes, all those ballot papers will be added to the first candidate's box. Similarly, it will be done for all the 5 persons. Okay, so in the first round they'll count each person's and they'll assess. Okay, so if any person gets here 36 votes, then that person will be officially declared elected to Rajya Sabha from that state. Okay. But in case if no person gets 36 votes, okay, then what happens is they will divide this votes. Okay. Or for example, here this candidate one only got 50 votes. But what happens? Other candidates are also there, 140 are there. So out of 36, he only 36 are required for him to get elected. But he got 50 votes here. So what happens is 50 minus 36. How much? 14 votes are there. No? These 14 votes will be added to the second preference candidate. Okay. So whoever got second highest number of seats for them, he will be added. That will be added. That means here we are voting only one vote. Your vote is only one, but that vote is getting transferred. So that is what we consider as single transferable vote. Okay, this is how the Rajya Sabha elections takes place. Okay, now we'll understand what is the present context. Okay, so in Himachal Pradesh Assembly also, there is an election for one seat in Rajya Sabha, only one seat. Okay, so in Himachal Pradesh Assembly there are 68 MLAs, out of which 40 are from Congress. Okay, and 25 are from BJP, and three are independent candidates. Okay, so this is what the composition of Himachal Pradesh Assembly as of date. Okay, so then what happened if this seat is won, and easily, as this Congress persons are having majority, they can easily win the seat, right? But what happened is, instead of the candidate who is supported by Congress party, BJP candidate has won the election. How this is 40 seats and this is 25 only, what have created this particular political trouble means. So what happened, out of 40, 6 candidates from Congress, that means only 34 have voted in favor of Congress candidate. Okay, and this 25 or there no BJP. This 3 independent candidates joined with BJP, and this 6 candidates who rebelled against Congress, so they also joined. That means 25 plus 3, 28 plus 6, that means 34. Here also the strength got reduced to 34, no? So 34 votes. So each faction got 34 votes. Then how did they decide winner means? They have taken lot. Lot system means okay, they'll take lot, and based on that they have declared BJP candidate as the winner. So this has created any question also in Himachal Assembly. That means here these 34 persons only voted in favor, or they have shown their loyalty to the party. But what about these 6 members who have voted against the party's decision? So this is nothing but cross voting. Okay, so this was witnessed in the case of recent Rajya Sabha elections from the state of Himachal Pradesh. Then let us understand whether this cross voting will attract any disqualification grounds under 10th schedule or not. Okay, so before that you need to know one basic thing is here these Rajya Sabha elections are conducted through open ballot. Okay? So this open ballot is also very important. As I told you, open ballot means it is not that they have to show their vote in front of media or to everyone, but the person who is voting in Rajya Sabha elections, that means the MLAs, they have to show the ballot paper. Okay, so the ballot paper will be given as soon as they enter the booth, right? After that, election commission authorized agent will be there. They'll be giving some specified ink. Okay, that specified ink has to be put against the candidate whom he was advised to vote. Okay, against the whatever the party decision is there, accordingly he has to vote. After that, he has to show that vote. That means I have voted to this candidate only. He has to affirm this to the party's authorized agent. Whichever the party he belongs to, that particular party, there will be one authorized agent to whom this person have to show his vote. Okay, so then only this person's vote will be qualified or it will be counted. If he doesn't mark the same color ink as specified by the election commission, or in case if he doesn't show the vote to the authorized agent, then his vote will become disqualified. His vote will not be counted in Rajya Sabha elections. Okay, so this is the most important thing you need to understand. Now, as the cross voting has took place, and you have seen in the case of Himachal Pradesh Assembly, 6 members from Congress have supported BJP candidate. So there have raised a question that whether the Congress government actually is enjoying majority in the house or not. And now they're going for budget session. In budget session, after the government introduces budget and discussions take place and all, budget has to be passed in the lower house. In case if the budget is not passed in the lower house, government has to resign. For budget to get passed, again there has to be minimum majority. So now the question arises after this cross voting that took place in Rajya Sabha elections. There has a fundamental question has arisen, that is whether the government is actually enjoying majority or not. Okay, so because of this Congress government has advised the speaker to suspend these 6 members. Okay, so we'll understand whether there is any disqualification ground or under anti-defection or not. Let us proceed further. We'll understand what is a constitutional provision. As I told you, Article 80 of Indian Constitution is dealing with how the Rajya Sabha members will be elected. As we have discussed, it is indirect election, and members of assemblies will be electing the members to the Rajya Sabha. Then we also have understood that there is open ballot system. Why this open ballot was introduced means before 1998 there was uncontested election or anonymous elections only. But after 1998, what happened is in Maharashtra Assembly there is cross voting that took place. That means one party member voted for another party. So when this practice started, so there is a clear erosion of electoral integrity, right? So when you're voting against your party decision, that means it is violation of your electoral principles and all. That is why Supreme Court has mandated that there should be open ballot system in Rajya Sabha elections. So then we'll understand what is a legal provision. So along when this was done for the first time in Maharashtra Assembly, then Representation of Peoples Act 1951 was amended in 2003. So what was amended in Section 59 of Representation of Peoples Act? Okay, they said that Rajya Sabha voting shall take place through open ballot. So we have seen what is open ballot. They have to show the vote to the party authorized region. Okay, so that is what open ballot. Before that, you need to understand what is the difference between Representation of People's Act 1950 and 51. Most of the candidates get confused here. 1950 Act deals with pre-election things, means preparation of electoral roll and all these things. Representation of People's Act 1951 deals with post-electoral things, means qualification, disqualification, okay, all these things. That means pre and post. In this way, usually you can demarcate in case of any confusion. Then you can understand, as I told you, in case if he's not using the same ink color or if he doesn't show the vote before casting in the ballot box to the authorized agent, then the vote of that particular person will be disqualified. That will not be counted. And as I told you, independent members, that means party agent will be there for political party MLAs. But in case if any independent MLA has to vote in Rajya Sabha elections, then he need not show his vote to any party person because he doesn't have any political affiliation. That is what you need to remember, right? Here, what is the relation between 10th schedule anti-defection and Rajya Sabha elections? We'll understand. You know the concept of Ayaram and Gayaram. That means when you are getting elected on one political party and if you're shifting your loyalty to another political party, that is like again subversion of this electoral mandate. So to prevent this, in 1985, we have this 52nd Constitutional Amendment Act passed to curb this type of practices. So four grounds were mentioned. As you can see on the screen, so there are four grounds mentioned. One is elected member voluntarily giving up membership of his political party. Means if you're elected on one particular party ground and if you're shifting your loyalty or if you're changing your political party after getting elected, then you'll be disqualified under the grounds of defection. Okay. Then second is if any independent elected member join any political party. That means you are getting elected independently without any political party support. But later on, you are changing that to political party support. Okay, then also you will be disqualified under defection. Then you have third ground is any nominated member joining political party after six months of his nomination. That means before 6 months of that means from the date of nomination within 6 months, if you join any political party, you will not be attracting any disqualification grounds. But after 6 months, if you join any political party, then you will be disqualified under defection. Okay? Then fourth ground, which is having relevance in this particular discussion, is if elected member abstains from voting. That means if he is absent from voting without permission of the party, or if he votes against or contrary to the decision of the party, that without the permission. That means, for example, as in the case of Himachal Pradesh Assembly only, all the 40 Congress MLAs will be given a whip or instruction to vote only to the Congress supported candidate, right? But we have seen here six candidates have voted against this decision and they have supported BJP candidate because of which this BJP candidate was declared winner. Then it is voting against or contrary to the decision of the party. Then, well, this will attract this round of defection or not means yes, it will not attract the ground of disqualification under defection because Supreme Court has given different judgments and it said whenever you're voting in Rajya Sabha elections, this ground of disqualification under 10 schedule will not be applied. Okay, so this is what given in one particular case. We'll see that particular case also. Before that, you need to know, as I have given here, the whip of the party means the instruction will be given whenever the voting and on resolutions and elections takes place in the house. Political party representative will be nominated by every political party to see to ensure the party discipline so that all members are taking place in voting or all the persons are voting as they have informed priorly. All these things they will be taking care. Okay, that we consider as whip. So you do remember this is having no relevance in the constitution and no relevance even in the parliament also. Okay? This is just established by different conventions, you can say. Then, if you just remember, Rajya Sabha elections does not attract any grounds under 10 schedule under defection. And do remember, with respect to defection, who is the deciding authority? It is the speaker or chairman. Who is the considered deciding authority? Speaker or chairman of the Rajya Sabha, Speaker of Lok Sabha, they are the deciding authorities. Okay. So next, as we proceed further, you can see here Election Commission in 2017, in reference to the Supreme Court judgments, it has clearly said that whatever the Rajya Sabha elections are there, that means even if you vote against the party decision also, it will not attract any disqualification under tension. That is what clearly said by Election Commission. So political parties cannot issue any whip in case of Rajya Sabha elections. Okay. Now let us see what are the cases that Supreme Court has given on this context. Okay. So for this you have to refer Kuldeep Nair versus Union of India case in 2006. In this case, Supreme Court has upheld open ballot system. Open ballot means, as I told you earlier also, you have to show your vote to the authorized agent. So why this was introduced, as I told you, 1998 Maharashtra Assembly, for the first time cross voting was witnessed. Okay. So in this light, Supreme Court has given a beautiful statement. That is, if secrecy becomes a source for corruption, then transparency has the capacity to revert. Okay, so to ensure transparency in the elections of Rajya Sabha elections. So that is why they have introduced the concept of open ballot. Okay, in the name of secret ballot, if there is a source of corruption, then to ensure transparency, we need to bring such innovative things. That is why they have brought open ballot for Rajya Sabha elections. Okay, then in the same case, they have also said elected MLA will not face any disqualification under 10th schedule even though if he votes against the party candidate. Okay? That means if he votes in his choice, that means why this statement was passed by the Supreme Court, because here the MLA after getting elected, okay, it doesn't mean that he has to abide by every decision of the party. He as an individual, he also have the freedom of speech and expression. He can have his own choice. So being a party member, you need not suppress your individual choice and always follow the party decisions, right? So here the party will not lose majority just because of your vote in case of Rajya Sabha elections, right? That is why they have said open ballot, okay, to ensure the balance between individual choice and party choice also. They have given the concept of open ballot, but they have clearly cautioned that even if you're voting against the party decision, that will not attract any ground of disqualification under tension. So, but what they have informed is, you cannot defect that particular person under tension rule. But what the party can do, they can take disciplinary action, means temporary suspension or some disciplinary action can be taken. So, this is what specified by the Supreme Court in Kuldeep Nair case in 2006. Then another case, Ravi Nayak versus Sanjay Pandekar versus Union of India case we have. In this, Supreme Court said voluntarily giving up membership will not also mean resigning. Means resigning is different, voluntarily giving up membership is different. So in this context, Supreme Court said voluntarily for assessing whether he have voluntarily given up membership or not means you just need to examine what is his behavior of conduct inside the house and outside the house. Okay, within the house, how he is behaving with respect to the party, and outside also how he is behaving. All these things have to be looked into to ascertain whether he is voluntarily giving up his membership or not. Okay, so this was also given in this particular case. So then, what is the way forward? So here, what are the challenges why cross voting should not be entertained? Means, when you're resorting to cross voting, that means you're undermining the electoral mandate or electoral integrity is getting compromised. So the concept of free and fair elections also will get undermined or it will lose its purity. That is why we need to uphold this concept of free and fair elections. And if you have remembered, this concept of free and fair elections is considered as one of the basic structure by the Supreme Court. Even in Indira Gandhi case also, election case also, this was highlighted as the basic feature of Indian Constitution. So to protect this free and fairness of the Indian elections, we need to curb such practices of cross voting. Okay, for this to curb, we need to have some judicial intervention like open ballot. And if you have remembered, Supreme Court also said nota cannot be used as an option in Rajya Sabha elections. It can only be used in Lok Sabha elections and state assembly elections only. That is what Supreme Court has intervened. Like this, we need some judicial intervention or there should be a specific law to curb such practices. This is a way forward you can suggest. So coming to the practice question given yesterday, you can see consider the following statements. DNA barcoding can be a tool to assess the age of a plant or animal. No, DNA barcoding, as yesterday we have discussed, it is just a tool to identify which gene it belongs, the DNA, part of DNA to which gene it belongs, that's it. Then distinguish them among the species that you can, like, yes, you can identify based on gene, to then identify undesirable plant species in the process. This can also be done. So if you eliminate one, you have one option that is 2 and 3. Okay? So basic principle here. Let us see the practice question given today. Here, Rajya Sabha has equal powers with Lok Sabha in the matter of creating all India services, amending constitution, removal of government, making calculations. So answer in the comment section. Then you have mains question. Examine the mechanisms and functions that contribute to the effective functioning of parliament. Okay. So you have to discuss in relation how to improve the performance of parliament. Okay. So as we have come to the end of the video, in this video we have discussed about what is the concept of election, Rajya Sabha elections, how the Rajya Sabha elections takes place, and what is the concept of cross voting. We have seen what are the Supreme Court guidelines with respect to this practice of cross voting, and we have seen what is its relation to anti-defection, and also we have seen how this practice of cross voting undermines electoral mandate. So this is all that we have discussed as part of this video. I hope you found this video useful. Thank you for watching. Have a good day.